Hello, everybody. It's actually the afternoon. Welcome to today's market update video. We're going to have to quit calling this the Monday morning market update video and go for just Monday market video. We are trying to put so many things together. And you know, we just get a little bit behind. So anyway, I wanted to talk to you today about what the market is doing. We have these videos running every Monday. We try to shoot for the morning. Normally, or here lately, haven't been making it until the afternoon. But we talk about the weekly numbers, give you a little bit of our insight or our opinions as far as what's going on or what that means. And so today we are going to talk about the numbers for April 18th. This morning early, I got up and pulled these numbers, and this is where we are. So new listings are up to 67. We are seeing, and as is historically accurate. A lot of people tend to think buyers buy and move in the summer. And so they buy in April and May and then move June, July, and August. That's actually not so accurate because they're so busy in April with prom, getting ready for graduation in May. College graduation comes really early. High school 8th grade graduation takes up towards the end of May. And then the very 1st of June, it's kind of like a ghost town. People take off on vacation. And so we usually have a little bit of a lull. And the end of April, about this time, we start seeing a lull, and then through May and 1st of June, it's very slow because people are, or we are otherwise distracted, right? But that's not what sellers tend to think. Sellers are using their spring cleaning, they're getting the house ready to go, and their ready list at the end of April, 1st of May, when they think people are actually looking at their houses and they are not. So we find this interesting that we don't find it interesting that the new listings are actually up. We just think that that's a little bit misguided. And we've done another video on talking about the best time to list your home. Check that out on YouTube. The other item that I added, or a piece of data statistic that I added this week, was the total number of listings is 239. And so I think it's important to contrast the total number of listings to new listings and look at what the absorption rate of that is. And so new listings typically are any listing that comes on the market within 30 days. However, I'll show you here in a minute that a lot of those are being sold or going under contract in 1, 3, 5, 7, and the averages for all of the listings depending on the price point. But I'll show you that here in a minute. But I just wanted to start including that going forward. The total number of listings on the market today within a 20-mile radius of the center of Waco is 239. We did have 18 homes have a price decrease. We are seeing, we did see a lot of sellers getting really eager to sell their home and then cash in on the high price, mostly because of fear, because they knew they were going to have to buy at something way over asking. And so they priced it a little bit high. That just, speaks to their comfort level. Those are probably the homes that we're seeing having price decreases. But another reason why we sometimes will have a price decrease is when something goes on the market, the deal falls apart, and now it's back on the market. The number of those for this last week is 14 units came back on the market, which is actually getting lower. It's a lower number than it was the week before. But a lot of those homes that are come back on the market actually end up experiencing a price decrease because they are red flagged. A lot of times, unnecessarily red flagged, but just the buyer's mind, they automatically assume that there's something wrong with it if the first deal fell apart. Do you want to know under contract with contingency are 6? So 6 of the ones that went under contract, 76 out of, I guess that would be 80. 6 out of 80 that went under contract this last week were actually with contingencies, and under contract 74 with a total of 49 homes closing. So let's move on. Here are the price bands, as we like to call them, and we really like to break this down because the numbers before may or may not really apply to your specific price point. We know that homes at $100,000 typically perform a lot different. It's a completely different market than the homes that are listed in the 600 to 800 or 800 and over. Anything over $500,000 is labeled as luxury in the Waco, Texas market. But anyway, we want you to drill this down for you on a specific level. So the interesting thing to point out is the homes between $40,000 and $100,000, their sold price to list price actually went down to 96.36%. And same for 100 to 200,000. Those homes are seeing less and less full price offers, down to 98.78%. Now the days on the market are also going down for the 100 to 200, 200 to 3, and 3 to 450. Those are sneaking down, and I think that has a lot to do with the fact that, you know, a lot of sellers will list their homes in January and February. In March, there seems to be a lull, and so the less inventory are in the market means more buyers are going to grab those up more quickly, fewer days on the market. However, we are seeing some of those selling prices to the original listing prices start to come down. And I think this might have a lot to do with the interest rate that is going up. And we'll talk about that here in just a second. I also think it's important to note that the 800,000 and over are true luxury homes here in the Waco area. 5 units sold for 99.3% of list price with only 77 days on the market. So this is a significant decrease over last week. 77 days on the market means less than 3 months on the market to go under contract at a sales price of 99.3% of asking. So now let's move on and talk about how to win an offer these days. These are the terms that we're seeing among all the agents at NextHome making offers on a daily basis, and what we're seeing when offers are won, offers are lost. A lot of times agents will share why your client didn't win. And a lot of buyers do need to go through a little bit of a learning curve. I've posted this before. Sometimes buyers will lose a few homes until they really start to understand how competitive the market is. And we do see that changing a little bit. But as of today, the money over asking that buyers typically have to pay between $12,000 and $25,000. This is down from the last few weeks. We've been seeing up to $35,000 over asking. So this is dropping down, and we attribute this to the interest rate going up, and we'll see that sort of dwindle going forward. The buyer is still paying the title policy. Seller usually has an existing survey or they will purchase a new one, but buyers still are having to squeeze in those inspections and all of their due diligence into just 5 days. They need to be loan approved before they ever make an offer. So 5 days to finish up their financing approval. They typically, again, are waiving the appraisal. That's where you get the money over asking $12,000 to $25,000. Conventional loans when you waive the appraisal, can be made same as cash. And because cash you require all the money up front, with a conventional loan, you're only looking at 5, 10, 15, 20% of your cash. You can typically reserve some of your cash to pay the money over asking. And so that's why we see conventional loans with a local lender winning out here over cash. And then days to close, of course, 30 days or less. One of the other things that I haven't put on here, but I think is important to note, is we are seeing a lot of seller leasebacks. So buyers are winning more conservative bids by telling the seller, hey, I'm going to give you this bid and we'll go ahead and close in 30 days, but you can stay in the home for another week to 2 weeks. And the sellers really, really appreciate that. A lot of the sellers are actually looking for terms like this because they're so nervous about being able to close their home and pay and close on a new home, or even find a new home to begin with. So that gap with the seller leaseback gives them a little bit more comfort, and a buyer can often win a bidding war with a little bit less cash and more lenient terms on a seller leaseback. So I thought that was interesting, forgot to provide that, but we'll put that in for next week. So let's talk about interest rates. I think everyone is really kind of freaking out about this. And I am too, because just a week and a half ago, the rates were still under 5. And then like, wham, we all got hit in the face with these 30-year rates, I've seen 5.5, 5.75, depending on your credit score. Bank rate has these today, a 30-year conventional 5.3%, 15, 4.47. Jumbo for a 30-year 5.22%. And we probably will see a lot of these ARMs coming back as people are just really frustrated, because the 5/1 ARM means 3.55%. So that means after 5 years, or within the first 5 years, you've got to refinance or sell your home or move. And so I get a little scared with these, just because I don't think the interest rates are going to come back down for a while. But at this point, none of the economists are really willing to say. We just don't know. I will tell you that I remember a year or so ago that they were trying to curb the market, and they went up on the interest rates, and the buying pretty much stopped. I think it was just too much of a rate hike for buyers to really absorb. And we saw the market kind of stall out. It wasn't too long after that they dropped the rates again, because we needed it to keep the economy moving forward. I don't know if that will happen this time, because of course the unemployment rate is coming down. More people have jobs, where the economy is doing a little bit better. And so we're starting to see things improve, overall. So we just don't know. And I don't think anyone is comfortable with saying what rates are going to do, but we actually can say we do expect for them to follow the 10-year treasury as they normally do. And we do expect them to get up to about 6% by the end of the year. So as we always say, buy as soon as you possibly can, sell and buy as soon as you possibly can. It's always do it yesterday, right? In real estate, it always seems like that's the big deal. So anyway, I wanted to thank you so much for watching this today, and I hope if you have any questions, you will reach out and visit us. Call us on our corporate number 254-855-9500, or just go to nexthomeourtown.com and click on a few pictures, register. You'll create a free account, and then you'll have an opportunity to chat with us and ask any questions about the market. We would love to answer those for you. We also have a couple of workbooks for you. We have a seller workbook that just in general, this is the process that you take and then things that you need to consider as you're getting ready to sell a home. And I would love to send you a copy of that. We also have a seller's guide specifically for the spring market. So if you're looking for a little bit more data, numbers oriented guide to selling your home and why now versus waiting later, et cetera, I've got one of those too. I would love to send that to you. So please reach out and have a great week, and we'll see you next Monday.